Notification volume set to 0%.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Justin Ruland, and I'm back again with a new video. And in this video, I'm going to do a review of my Samsung Gear S3 smartwatch that I picked up about a month ago. But this review is going to be mainly focused on, it's going to be a review from a blind user's perspective. So the main focus of this review will obviously be the accessibility of this smartwatch. Now, before we get into that, I do just want to say a few things here. When I first picked up this watch from Verizon, it came with it had this Samsung band on it. It was like this rubber band, and I really didn't like it. I wasn't too crazy about the band, so went on Amazon, picked up a band for about $11. It's a nice metal band. I believe it's a Milanese band. I'm not quite sure, but it's magnetic and it's pretty comfortable, more comfortable than the one I had before. I mean, the one I had before was comfortable, but this is even better. And also, I also too you know, I was never, I was never into the whole smartwatch game initially. I never really cared about them. They weren't really, I wasn't really interested in them. But as time went on, I really thought, hey, how convenient would it be to have a smartwatch? And um, I figured, why not try it out now? I got a Samsung phone, the Galaxy S8 Plus, so why not get a Samsung smartwatch to go along with it? And that is exactly what I did. So, anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Let's start off with some of the positives about this watch before we dive into the accessibility, because we'll talk about that in a second here. Um, let's start off with the design of the watch. Now, oops, hang on, sorry.
Screen off. Screen turned off.
It's a pretty nice design. Sorry about that. You got your you got a nice, I think it's a 1.3 inch screen, I believe it is, and it's an AMOLED screen. And you got this cool rotating bezel, which basically is an easier way to get you around the interface of Tizen OS. And you also, you got the rotating bezel as well as a touchscreen. And on the right side of the watch, you got a back button. Like it's on the top right of the watch. And then the left, you have your home button / power button. Now the buttons do feel the same, so you just got to remember, one's on the left, one's on the right. Now another great quality about this watch is, the phone calls. This watch the call quality on this watch is very, very, very good. This watch does phone calls very well. When I'm talking to people on the phone, I gotta tell them, like, hey, I'm talking down my watch, because they can't tell the difference because it's so good. I still sound clear to them. They sound clear to me. So for phone calls, this watch is great. It's if you're in a quiet room, with really not a lot of sound or anything like that, the watch is awesome at phone calls. The speaker is nice and loud, and the microphone is very, very good. Um, and next, it's just the feel of the watch. It feels, it's rugged. You can like when you feel it, it's kind of heavy. I mean, with the band that I have on now, it's a little lighter, but there's still like that thickness to it. That's you know, the rugged style to it. By the way, this is the Gear S3 Frontier. I forgot to mention that. There's also a classic too, but the Frontier is, it's a pretty rugged smartwatch. It's water resistant. Um, it's got military grade certification against like drops and stuff and shock protection. So, for people who live an active lifestyle, which I do not. I'm not an active person, but if you are, this is this is a good watch for you. Um, but now let's get into the main part of this review, and this is where the review might be a little long here. Okay, we're gonna talk about accessibility. So, what I'm gonna do to turn the screen on, I'm just gonna rotate the bezel to the left or the right a little bit, whichever way. I usually do it to the right. You just turn it a little bit,
It is 10:57 p.m.
and now we are on the main watch face. So, if you press your home button,
Page 1 of 3.
you are taken to your apps. Now, if I rotate the bezel to the right, I'll move forward between my apps.
Phone. Recent apps.
Okay. So as you can see, I was at the end there. I was kind of scrolling around earlier, but that's navigation of the watch. Or you can swipe.
Recent apps.
But I want to show you guys something here, okay? And this is where the issues start, okay? Well, actually, not really. The issues start on the setup. If you are visually impaired, like myself, you are going to need sighted assistance setting this up. There's no way to activate screen reader on the main setup screen, which is a complete shame. I don't understand why that is not enabled in Tizen 3.0. But anyway, I want to show you guys something that is very baffling to me, and I don't understand why this is. So I'm going to go to Samsung Health here, so I'm going to turn my bezel to the left.
Messages 1 new item. Contacts. Samsung Health.
Okay, so here we're on Samsung Health. Now I'm going to double tap and listen to what this says.
Can't open this app while screen reader is on.
Did you hear that?
OK button.
I'll show you again.
Can't open this app while screen reader is on.
Can't open this app while screen reader is on.
OK button.
I mean,
It is 11 o'clock p.m. Screen turned off.
what the hell, Samsung? This is your own app with your own built-in screen reader. Why the hell can I not open Samsung Health? And that's one of the main selling points of this watch is fitness. Okay. Now, like I said before, I'm not an active person, but I do want to start, getting out, walking around, tracking my health, and I know I can do that on my phone. I know that. But one of the reasons you get a smartwatch is for fitness, right? That's it's not the main reason. That's not the main reason I got it, but I'd like to be able to use it. And I can't because for some stupid ass reason I'm not able to open Samsung Health. Now just isn't Samsung Health. This is third-party apps too. I don't have any third-party apps on here because they're on Tizen OS. They're useless. Okay, they are useless. Now I know what you could say. Oh, I could have got an Android Wear smartwatch, but Android Wear is I don't know how much longer it's going to be around, honestly.
Large Metro Weekly live at 195 Samsung phone to tablet patent. 4 phone. 1 +6 coming. YouTube head live.
Sorry about that, guys. I got a YouTube notification. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, Android Wear is dead. Okay. And I don't know how much longer it's going to be around. I don't know how much longer support is going to, how much there's more support there's going to be. And yeah, that's also my main concern with this watch too, is support. Will this watch get Tizen 4.0? I have no idea. This watch came out in 2016 and I bought it in 2018. And I don't really know if this will get Tizen 4.0. I do think this watch is in desperate need of an update, because we're going to talk about some other things. Now I'll show you something strange too. Since I couldn't open Samsung Health, I'll show you something really strange though.
It is 11:02 p.m.
Okay. So let me go back into my apps.
Page 1 of 3. Samsung Health.
So we're on Samsung Health. Let me go to
Contacts. Phone. Messages 1 new item.
let's see.
Recent apps.
I'm gonna try to find gallery here. If I can find it. Let's see.
Contacts. Samsung Health. Weather. Music player. Settings. S voice.
Oh,
Next page button.
while we're here,
S voice.
let's talk about S Voice. Now, I'm not even really going to demonstrate this because you all know that S Voice is trash. And that's still the assistant that is on this watch, is S Voice. And like literally, this watch needs Bixby, and it needs it fast, because S Voice. I've tried texting on here, and I've some messages did not come out right, and trying to type on this watch, because you can type, is kind of a pain in the ass. But let's go back. Let's try to find what I was trying to look for earlier. The gallery.
Next page button. Page 2 of 3. Reminder. Altibarometer. Calendar. Alarm. World clock. News briefing. Gallery.
Okay, here we go. Now watch this. So, watch.
Gallery.
As you can see,
Add photos from your phone button.
this is accessible. Alright. That is very strange to me that Samsung Health cannot be accessed with screen reader, but I can open the gallery to see photos. Explain that one to me, please. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't really understand why that happens. But let's go to S Voice real quick.
It is 11:04 p.m.
For this demonstration, I'm actually going to turn my heater down real quick, because okay. I got the heater down so I can do a fair demonstration of why S Voice is trash, and there's no excuse for the heater interfering with the microphone of the watch. So anyway, let's go back to S Voice.
Apps. Rotate bezel to navigate app. Gallery.
Oops. Let's go.
News briefing. World clock. Alarm. Calendar. Altibarometer. Reminder. Previous page button. Page 1 of 3. S voice.
Oh, here we go. I'm going to double tap here.
S voice. Example commands button.
Now,
Mic button, double tap to speak.
okay, here's the mic. So I'm going to try this. Alright, I'm going to say this and see what happens. Here we go. What's the weather like? Now, as you can see, this is very slow. I don't even know if I got my command. Let's see.
Unfortunately, I can't access the system right now. Please try again later.
You see that? That is that is ridiculous. I can't even...
It is 11:06 p.m. Page 1.
Screen
turned off.
As you can see, it didn't even...
Voice.
As you can see, it didn't even work there. That is pathetic. That is absolutely pathetic. You need to get rid of S-Voice as soon as possible. That is... S-Voice is an absolute piece of shit, and it needs to go away.
It is 11:07 p.m.
Okay. And also, that isn't... You know, another thing about the screen reader on here, too, it's laggy. Like, as you heard me rotating the bezel and swiping, you heard a delay. Like, it made the don't noise, like the little click noise, like the don't kind of...
1 after using battery. Google Play Movies and TV.
Sorry about that, guys. My freaking phone is tongue up after using battery. But anyway, you guys heard that sound, like the ding, ding, or whatever it does. And you heard a delay. Like, it made the noise, then you heard a delay from the speech. The screen reader is very laggy on here. Also, there's a bug too, where I'll have the screen off, yet the screen reader will still randomly talk, like it just did a few seconds ago. So accessibility needs some polishing on here, and a lot of it, because like most third-party apps are not accessible. I've tried to use Spotify, doesn't work. I had a YouTube player on here just to see if it would work, and the weird part about that is I was able to... I went into Galaxy Apps on my phone, and I know you can install apps from the Galaxy App Store on the watch now. It ties in 3.0, but I did it on my phone, and I hit open on the YouTube player, and I was able to scroll, right? No issues. However, as soon as I clicked home and closed the YouTube player that I had, I went to open it, and it said the same thing that it said with Samsung Health: cannot open this app while screen reader is on. So that is an issue. Okay, that is ridiculous, and I feel like Samsung really did not make accessibility a priority when it comes to this watch. As somebody who's visually impaired, I honestly, I can't recommend you buy this watch for your first time smartwatch. I know I did, but that's because I'm a very patient person when it comes to technology. But you know, I can't recommend this for a visually impaired person. I can't, you know, this watch was $349, and I'm not saying it's a waste of money. I'm not saying don't get it, but if you're not willing to put up with some of the accessibility issues that this watch has, I would not pick it up. I would not recommend it at all. Now, am I going to take this watch back? No. I've considered it, but I'm not, because I love being able to, when my phone is on the charger, I love being able to make phone calls. I love getting my notifications on the watch when I can't get to my phone. You know, so that is pretty convenient. But if you use screen reader and you're visually impaired, you know, and you need screen reader, you can't use this watch to its fullest potential. And this watch can do a hell of a lot. But with screen reader on, you can't use it, you know, like I said, you cannot use it to its full potential. So I do love this watch, though. I do. But like I said, you know, I just can't recommend it for somebody who's visually impaired. I really, you know, I wish Samsung really made accessibility a priority here. They kind of half-assed it, if you ask me. And I hope that when the Gear S4 comes out, that this watch does get Tizen 4.0. You know, part of me is wishing I would have waited till the Gear S4, but I have this now, and I can't really I can't just go and buy the Gear S4 now. I gotta stay with this for a while. But I do hope this gets the same firmware as the Gear S4, and I hope that firmware is accessible. And the thing that really kind of, when I got this watch, I didn't know what to expect, because literally I've looked around everywhere. There is nothing about accessibility with this watch online anywhere that I can find. There's tutorials on how to turn off screen reader and stuff like that and how to turn it on, but there's nothing like a real user experience like I'm giving you right now. I may be, don't quote me on this, but I may be the first YouTuber who's doing a real accessibility review talking about accessibility on this watch. I may be the only one. Like I said, I don't know, but by the looks of it, I am. But yeah, I went into this watch not knowing what to expect. It's just, and this is where I have to credit Apple, which is something I generally don't like doing, because if you know me, you know that I'm far from an Apple fan, but I have to credit Apple on their commitment to accessibility. You can't deny that. There's no denying it. You can whether you love Apple or you hate them, you can't deny their commitment to accessibility. And from what I can see, from what I've seen online, the Apple Watch Series 3 is very, very accessible. And I gotta be honest, as much as I love this watch, if the Apple Watch did work with Android, which will never happen, and I don't know why anyone would expect it to, but if it did, I would have picked it up for accessibility alone. Because that watch is very accessible. And, I know somebody who has the Series 3, and he really loves it. It does what he wants it to do. I haven't heard any complaints about it from him, so I have to credit Apple there. I really do. I know somebody else with an Apple Watch, with the very first Apple Watch, which is quite accessible as well, but it's laggy. But still, my point being, when it comes to the smartwatch accessibility, accessibility in smartwatches, Apple is king. Android Wear maybe is second place, because it uses TalkBack, of course. And if you're familiar with TalkBack, Android Wear shouldn't be too much of an issue for you. Now, I'm familiar with Samsung, so Tizen wasn't too big of an issue, because the core experience is very similar across the phone and the watch. But overall, I feel like the Apple Watch for a visually impaired person is a better purchase. And that's coming from an Android enthusiast. That's coming from a Samsung fan. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you watched this, and I hope this helps you. If you're considering getting the Gear S3 smartwatch, the Gear S3 Frontier or Gear S3 Classic, and you're visually impaired, watch this video and really think about, whether you can deal with these accessibility issues. Just stop and think, can I deal with this? Really think about it as you watch the video. But anyway, guys, this has been Justin Rowland, and I'm out of here. Peace.